My wish is to be a good citizen. It's something my father was. He was a useful man in the community, and so were all my ancestors in Indianapolis. They were civically active, and I wanted to be of use to my community. And I went to school, publicly supported school in Indianapolis, in a very idealistic time in this country. In the 30s, the Great Depression was going on. We were discussing what can we do to get the country started again, and all sorts of ideas were proposed. Socialist ideas, communist ideas, fascist ideas, whatever. It was in the air, is how can we make America more rational so everybody can work again. And when I left the 8th grade at the very end, as each member of my class at this little school out in Indianapolis declared what he was going to do for his society. I had pledged to do my best to cure cancer, and I've missed that a good deal, but there was one health problem which I could deal with, and which I am dealing with now, usually didactically, but also indirectly in the novel, is firearms is a health problem. They're a terrible health problem in this country and all over the world, of course, in wartime, as these devices should not exist any more than smallpox.
Fashionable bulletproof clothing. Once every 50 seconds in the United States, someone is being robbed or mugged. As one answer, John Jolson Protective Fashion has introduced a unique collection of bulletproof fashions. The jackets and cloaks have easily removable shields, which are optimally effective against a wide array of guns, ranging from a .22 caliber revolver to a .357 caliber Magnum. Now here we have Martin wearing a bulletproof tuxedo shirt and dinner jacket. Craig wears a navy blue hunting jacket with a scarlet bulletproof lining. Sue wears a bulletproof plum-colored ski jacket. Denise and Craig wear bulletproof rainwear. Denise and Sue wear bulletproof Norwegian blue fox and a full-length mink coat, while Craig looks on in his bulletproof tuxedo. Bulletproof fashion may not only save your life, it may change your life.
Well, Dead-Eye Dick takes place in the fictitious city of Midland City, Ohio, the same city in which a Breakfast of Champions takes place. Again, a drab Middle Western manufacturing town. And the story is told by a man who is now 50 years old. His father was a gun collector, a gun nut, a very common American sort, who owned hundreds of beautiful guns and had familiarized his son with them. And the boy was playing with the gun one afternoon after cleaning it. When he was 12 years old, he fired it out a window, partly accidentally, partly intentionally, not intending to hit anything, and he kills a pregnant housewife who is vacuuming her house 6 blocks away. This was Mother's Day to most people, but to me, it was the day during which, ready or not, I had been initiated into manhood. I had killed the chickens. Now I had been made master of all these guns and all this ammunition. It was something to savor. It was something to think about. I had a clip of ammunition in my breast pocket. It had been there since morning. It felt good. So I pushed it down into the rifle's magazine, since I knew the rifle enjoyed that so. Now the rifle was cocked with a live cartridge, snugly home. For a person as familiar with firearms as I was, this represented no commitment whatsoever. I could let the hammer gently down without firing the cartridge, and then I could withdraw the bolt, which would extract the live cartridge and throw it away. But instead, I squeezed the trigger.
Welcome to United Flight 903, non-stop service to Chicago, continuing on to Salt Lake City. In the seat pocket in front of you is a card describing the safety features of this airplane. Please take it out of the pocket and follow along as we cover some very important points.
The London Times. Dead-Eye Dick by Kurt Vonnegut. There's no mistaking the tone. That quirky, rambling, folksy tone which is saying, listen to me, I'm telling you a story. You'll enjoy it. This is Kurt Vonnegut's umpteenth novel. But in Dead-Eye Dick, the writing has become sloppier and the invention more mechanical. The simplicity of the moral vision now seems whimsical. What was once the way of enlightening the reader has now become the easiest way of entertaining him. The sentiment seems arch because over-deliberate, as if all the chaos and confusion which Vonnegut once celebrated has degenerated into an imaginative torpor from which he cannot break free.
And then assist your child with an additional mask.
What the critics do, which is very strange, is take your earlier books away from you as though somebody else had written them. Some of the book reviews are like the court-martial of Dreyfus, you know, where they form up the regiment in a hollow square and Dreyfus is marched out there and they pull all these buttons off, you know, which is everything he's done up to then, is all the books I've written up to now, is they pull those off, and then they take my saber, which is the one maybe really good book I wrote, is Slaughterhouse Five. The officer busts it over his knee and hands it back. There's a great resistance, I think, now for people staying around too long or being in the public eye too long. And we classify people as belonging to the 60s or the 70s. We should have people for the 80s now. They could be right. You know, I'm not all that bright, and I can look around and see people writing terrible books, and other people write terrible books. Why couldn't I? I don't consider that impossible.